Fox Sports.
We are Black. We are Wisconsin.
Well, it was a gem last night. Kyle Loesch, the third complete game of the year for the Brewers, and his second shutout of the season. Milwaukee wins last night, and they stay alive for one more day. The Giants lost to the Dodgers. The Brewers are still mathematically in there with 4 to play, and it's Game 3 this afternoon from Cincinnati, the Brewers, and the Cincinnati Reds. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Great American Ballpark. Great to have you with us here today. Got another gorgeous day for baseball. Looking forward to returning back to Miller Park for the final series tomorrow. Bill Schroeder, Brian Anderson, Telly Hughes is our reporter. And Rock, last night the Brewers did something that they've been waiting a long time for. That score some runs.
And it wasn't a ton of runs, but it certainly seemed like it. It wasn't a rout, but it certainly looked like it the way Kyle Loesch was out there on the mound last night against Cincinnati. And they were able to get on top early, and that was the important thing. The starting pitching has really been waiting to get a lead. Ricky Weeks starting it off with a base hit. That was a 2-out double to score run. Able to plate Ramos Ramirez, and then the Brewers able to get another run. It was 2-0 for a while, but for me the big hit was the Gene Segura double, driving in a couple of runs, made it 4-0, gave Kyle Loesch a little bit of breathing room in that baseball game. So the Brewers need to do that again. Yvonne Gallardo, who's coming on one of his best starts in a couple of years against the Pittsburgh Pirates, need to put up some zeros and allow this offense to get going once again here today.
Well, to quote a former Cincinnati Reds announcer, Al Michaels, do you believe in miracles? The Brewers need one. If they're going to get back in at 4 to play, they're 4 back. Yvonne Gallardo gets the ball this afternoon. It's the final road game of the regular season. It's coming up next. Yeah, last night a game full of moments, and the Brewers finally got to shake hands after a game, after a win. Wins have been hard to come by on this road trip, just the third of this three-city road trip. 70 degrees here in Cincinnati today. We have had ideal weather for this series, and the Brewers are going to be able to get through this championship season amazingly with one rainout this year. That's it, just one. Happened early in the season. Well, the Brewers are still in there mathematically. The Giants lost to Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers last night. The Giants start a series at home against San Diego tonight. That's a 4-gamer, and they need to lose the rest of their games. The Brewers need to win their final 4 games, and then there will be a 1-game tiebreaker playoff in San Francisco in that case. Here's Ron Renicki's batting order today. It's brought to you by Associated Bank. Carlos Gomez, Ryan Braun, Jonathan Lucroy at the top. Middle of the order is Ramirez, Davis, and Weeks. Jason Rogers makes his first Major League start at first base. Gene Segura back in there at short, and Giovanni Gallardo rounds out the starting 9, and that's the lineup that will match up against lefty David Holmberg. And his first pitch is down and in, and away we go. And again, we see David Holmberg on the mound. He got his first and only Major League win against Milwaukee just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that was a 5-1 win at Miller Park on September 13th. Holmberg making his 3rd September start, 3rd different time he's been with the Reds this year.
Carlos Gomez takes a strike. That's Dale Scott calling balls and strikes today. 23-year-old David Holmberg out of Port Charlotte, Florida. Fly ball to center field. That's Yorman Rodriguez out there today. No Billy Hamilton in the starting lineup. Still dealing with concussion symptoms. And that's how the day begins for Holmberg and the Reds. How about defensively for Cincinnati today, Rock, courtesy of Menards?
Yeah, they get a little bit of a shakeup in the starting lineup for the Cincinnati Reds. You got Ryan Ludwig making his first start. Yorman Rodriguez out there in center field. You mentioned Billy Hamilton out of the lineup. Brian Pena at first and Tucker Barnhart behind home plate.
One gone here is Ryan Braun. Braun had a home run taken away yesterday. That was the play by Billy Hamilton that ended up sending him to the clubhouse with a mild concussion. He banged his head up on the wall. That would have been Braun's 20th home run. It certainly had the distance to go out as Hamilton went crashing into that fence. So Ryan sitting on 19 home runs. Has 81 driven in. He is the club leader in RBIs. It'll be a curious offseason for Ryan Braun. He has dealt with the thumb injury all year. It was the same injury that bothered him last year, and prior to his suspension, what put him on the disabled list. It's a nerve problem that runs up his right thumb. And some days it's okay and he can manage it. Some days if he gets jammed or hits one off the end of the bat, it flares up and he has to play through it. It has definitely affected how he goes about his business at the plate.
Yeah, the strength of that hand, and certainly it's when he does feel it, it's going to last throughout the game. But it's one of those things where surgery is not necessarily going to fix it. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. It hadn't been done all that often, but something that Ryan is hoping that he's going to be able to get through as his career continues.
3-2. Holmberg delivers to Braun, who lines one foul past Eddie Cedar. Count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the play last night. Braun making a bid at his 20th homer. What a great catch that was by Billy Hamilton. And Hamilton actually came back. He had an at-bat after that catch. And then he was taken out of the game. He was feeling a little nauseous. As Braun sends that one to left, Ludwig with room. Just shy of the warning track for out number 2.
Yeah, Holmgren a big guy, but doesn't throw very hard. Low 90s. He's got a very good changeup. That was the pitch that really had the Brewers confused back at Miller Park on the 13th. A fly ball pitcher, pretty dangerous in a ballpark like this, particularly during the day. The ball should be carrying pretty well.
Now the Brewers saw Corsino and Holmberg at Miller Park. They both pitched well. I think the Brewers feel like if they can get another shot at him, see him again, get a little more of a game plan, they could have more success. That was the case last night with Daniel Corsino. but did not get through the 5th inning. Holmberg is taking the spot in the rotation vacated by Dylan Axelrod. Homer Bailey and Matt Latos, the 2 starters that occupied those spots at the beginning of the year, as Lucroy grounds to short, and that'll be a 3-up, 3-down inning to get Holmberg's day underway. Yovani Gallardo makes his final start of the regular season. On Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, now in the original can. It's Miller time. By Toyota, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine. Great day to just hang out on a swing just outside the ballpark here in Cincinnati. They've done terrific work in downtown, upgrading the riverfront area. Beautiful place to hang out, especially when you have weather like this. Brian Price in his first season as the skipper, been a disappointing year for the Reds. He's got Phillips leading off today. Brian Pena, Todd Frazier make up the top of his order, and then Price has Jay Bruce, Ryan Ludwig, Yorman Rodriguez in the middle, with Cozart, Barnhart, and Holmberg rounding it out. Much different looking lineup for the Reds than what we were accustomed to earlier in the season. Yovani Gallardo on the mound for the Brew Crew, and Phillips takes a first pitch ball. Gallardo coming off a gem his last time out against Pittsburgh.
Yep, 7 shutout innings, a season high 11 strikeouts, only 1 walk, but a no decision for Yovani, making start number 25 of his career against Cincinnati.
That was one of the games that got away on this road trip. The Brewers had a 2-0 lead going into the 8th inning. The Pirates got a 3-run homer from Russell Martin, and they won the game 4-2. And been some gut-wrenching losses down the stretch for Milwaukee. That was one of them. Gallardo certainly did his part. He struck out a season-high 11.
And came out with some pretty good command of his fastball, but the curveball was the difference maker for him in that game.
Phillips sends that one in the air to left center. Well hit, long run for Gomez, and he's there to make the catch. So Brandon Phillips gave it a ride, but it's a long, loud out, and that's how the day begins for Gallardo today.
Well, again, Yovani, came out of the bullpen with outstanding stuff. You can see the location on the fastball. The slider was very good. It really was never in any much of a trouble inning at all. But this is the pitch that was the difference maker for him. The big curveball. He got some called strikes on it and a bunch of swinging strikes. That's the Yovani Gallardo of old. That curveball, outstanding his last time out.
Here's Brian Pena, who takes strike one. Gallardo has not been a big strikeout pitcher that he has been earlier in his career, but he punched out 11 against Pittsburgh in those 7 shutout innings.
And there's a good one right away. Good curveball, good bite on it, going straight down. A late breaking, big breaking curveball. That's the key.
Quickly 0-2 on Brian Pena, the backup catcher who is getting a start at first base today. It's interesting that the Brewers have 3 complete games. Loesch spun the 3rd yesterday, and 2 of them have come against Cincinnati this year. Matt Garza and Kyle Loesch both have shutouts against Cincinnati. Oh, and 2 the count again. Pena shoots one to the opposite field. He beats the shift. And Brian Pena with the game's first hit.
A switch hitter can hit a little bit. I mean, a veteran guy's been around a little bit. As you check out the Brewers defense, brought to you by Menards. Chris Davis gets the start. It's been a while for Chris. Gomez and Braun round out the outfield. Ramirez, Segura, Ricky Weeks back in the lineup with the left-hander out there on the mound. He made a start last night. Jason Rogers making his first major league start at first base today. And Jonathan Lucroy, as usual, behind home plate.
Brewers are going to see 3 consecutive left-handed starters here. First 2 starters in the Cubs series will be left-handed. Todd Frazier, all-star third baseman in the National League this season. He's having a big year for the Reds. 28 homers. He's driven in 77. Reds were right in the picture until right after the All-Star break. Brewers were part of that. Milwaukee swept Cincinnati in Milwaukee right after the break, the second series after the All-Star break, and the Reds had a collapse immediately after that, late July and early August, and that pretty much wrote them out of the postseason picture for 2014.
Man, it didn't help that Joey Votto went on the DL on July 8th.
A couple of stints on the DL for Votto. He's still on the disabled list. Brandon Phillips missed a month of the season with a thumb injury. As Frazier skies one to Braun in right, and that'll be out number 2. Reds have had injuries in their pitching ranks. Matt Latos shut down for the rest of the year. He missed a good chunk of the season to start with. Missed just about half of the season. Homer Bailey was shut down for the rest of the season as well with a forearm injury. Latos has a bone bruise on his right arm. So it's been a rough year for Cincinnati and first-year manager Brian Price. This was a ball club that made it to the postseason last year as a wild card team.
It's usually the healthiest teams that the teams that are able to keep their guys out on the field the best that ordinarily end up getting to the postseason. Last year the Reds able to stay relatively healthy.
The Reds lost to the Pirates in the wild card game and then made a managerial move. Dusty Baker was out, which opened the door for Brian Price, who had been their pitching coach. Jay Bruce has had a down year as well. He's sitting on 18 home runs this season. He's 2 homers away from keeping a pretty impressive streak going. If he gets to 20 home runs, he'll hit 20 homers at least in his first 7 seasons in the big leagues. But as Bruce lines one to right, almost hit Pena. And a single to right for the second hit of the inning. It'll be first and second for the Reds as Jay Bruce is aboard.
Yeah, it looked like an off-speed pitch that Bruce was able to wait back long enough. Looked like he got it off the end of the bat, but hits it hard into right field. Actually, it's fastball, my mistake. Fastball away, Bruce pulls it and nearly hits the base runner. But into right field for a base hit.
So Gallardo is going to have to reach back a little in this first inning. 2 men aboard with 2 out. And it'll be Ryan Ludwig. started him with a big hook, and Ludwig out in front of it. This is another guy that the Reds were hopeful to put up some big numbers, power numbers. Ludwig has shown tremendous power throughout his career. He's actually swung the bat well against Milwaukee this year. He's hitting .351 against Brewers pitching. It's been a revolving door in left field this season. We've seen Jason Bourgeois start the last 2 games. Chris Heisey's played a lot of left field this year.
And power numbers way down for Ryan Ludwig, only 9 home runs. Oh, and he's right. He's got as good of opposite field power as anybody in the game.
Gallardo giving up 2 hits in this first inning, and the Reds threatened to score early here. This game will determine who wins the season series between the Brewers and Reds this year.
Man, that's a big deal because the Brewers haven't won a season series against the Reds since 2006. Brewers have other ideas in mind about going forward this year, but still, it'd be nice to say you won the series, the season series against Cincinnati.
A series that is all even up at 9-9 this year. Cincinnati won 7 of the first 10 games this season. Brewers have been able to turn it around against the Reds in the second half. Reds won the opener here. Johnny Cueto was terrific. He won his 19th game. Cueto will have a chance to join the 20-win club. He'll start the finale on Sunday as the Reds host the Pirates. Brewers won last night behind a Kyle Loesch shutout, a 2-hitter. Ludwig pops this one foul and out of play. Count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Loesch barely over 100 pitches in that complete game last night. Boy, I'm talking about being efficient. Everything working for him. Brewers got some runs. Back-to-back years, Kyle Loesch's last regular season start ended up as a 2-hit shutout. Did it against the Braves last year.
It's not the ballpark either that you see many shutouts, especially low hit shutouts, but the Brewers twice this year in Cincinnati with 2-hit shutouts. Loesch and Garza. Garza did it back in July. Runners take off, ball 4, and Gallardo having a rough start to this one. Bases loaded with 2 outs and a ton of pitches in this first inning. Now to bring up the young hitter, Yorman Rodriguez. Young outfield prospect getting the start in center field today. Rodriguez playing in just his 8th game in the big leagues. That's just the 1 run batted in. 22-year-old outfielder playing mostly right field at the AA level. Did not play in AAA. Went from Pensacola to Cincinnati.
Big jump, but a jump that a lot of players are making these days.
Yeah, a lot of teams in the Reds situation this year. When you get to September 1st, you want to take a look at some of your top prospects. Get them in the big league wheel. Rodriguez came in as a pinch runner in the opener of this series on Tuesday. Scored a run. And his first start, there's a called strike. Good fastball by Gallardo. 1-2 the count.
They had 92 miles an hour, but it had a little bit of a jump to it. Right on that outside corner. Those are the fastballs that he was throwing against Pittsburgh in his last start.
Stress pitches early for Gallardo. Bases loaded in the first inning. Does have 2 outs. And the 1-2 pitch, a curveball bounces. That was an automatic pitch for Gallardo against the Pirates.
And a lot of strikeouts in that curveball last time out, both swinging and looking. Not only was he able to throw it down in his zone with 2 strikes, but also able to catch it for a called strike as well when he needed it.
See what he does here. 2-2. Goes back to it, bounces another one. And now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes, and he's going to be forced to come in there on a young hitter. Bases full of Reds. Pena had a 1-out single into left center. Bruce had a single to right, and then a walk to Ludwig. And the 27th pitch of the inning for Gallardo. Runners go, and a called strike 3. Down he goes. Gallardo gets the call, and the inning is over. So the Reds fail to score. Gallardo leaves them loaded. Relaxing after a brilliant day yesterday. He's in our AT CIN U-verse rewind, and if you want to leave an impression on your last start, as Rock mentioned, Loesch has done it in back-to-back seasons.
Had 7 3-up, 3-down innings. Had it not been for Jack Hanahan last night, who got the only 2 hits against Kyle Loesch, it would have been a no-hitter. At least it would have been exciting without those 2 hits. Just outstanding work for Kyle Loesch a night ago to keep the Brewers' postseason hopes still alive.
Survive one more day. Loesch also had an RBI. Brewers won that game 5-0. Finally scoring some runs last night. The Brewers drew a ton of walks yesterday, 10 of them. Ramirez leads the way here in the 2nd inning. He'll be followed by Davis and then Weeks. There's a ground ball gloved by Frazier. Picked up a tough hop, and Ramirez is retired. 4 in a row to start the game for David Holmberg.
And Holmberg only allowed 2 hits against the Brewers in 6 innings in his start in Milwaukee. It was an infield hit by Hector Gomez, and then Ramirez hit a solo shot. That was it. 6 innings, and didn't allow too much to the Brew Crew. Only 1 run. Good changeup. Brewers had a lot of ground balls to the left side in that game.
One away for Chris Davis. Swings away at the first pitch. Bruce eases back. No problem in the shadow of the light standard. 2 outs. 2 quick ones for Holmberg. The Reds got Holmberg in a 3-team trade that involved the Diamondbacks and the Rays. The big piece in that was Ryan Hannigan going from Cincinnati to Tampa Bay. That was this past offseason. Holmberg's only 23 years of age, but he's been traded twice already. He was involved in the Edwin Jackson deal between the White Sox and Diamondbacks. Holmberg went from Chicago's minor league system to Arizona. That was back in 2010. And then a 3-team trade last offseason. So he's bounced around a little bit. He'll strike one to Ricky Weeks on a changeup.
Man, spent some time on the DL down in the minor leagues. End of April to the beginning of May. Actually on the DL twice with left shoulder issues.
It's always fascinating to see a guy who starts the year A in the minor leagues, B with injuries in the minor leagues, and then here he is getting a chance in the major leagues, and he's been able to handle himself well in his last 3 outings. 2 of those have been starts. As Weeks a swing and a miss.
And getting an opportunity in the major leagues after putting together a 2-6 record and a 466 earned run average in the minors. Not impressive stuff. I should say not impressive numbers for a guy that's now in the big leagues.
One and two to Weeks. Figures to be playing a lot here in the next few days with 3 left-handed starters as opponents coming up. Ricky got the start last night as well. Scooter Gennett dealing with a quad injury. And he was really laboring trying to run on Tuesday night in the opener. So Weeks got the call yesterday. That one's in the air to center field. Got some travel to it. Back to the wall, and that one's gone. Ricky Weeks goes deep. A 2-out home run just kept carrying on out of here.
And the wind died down. It was blowing in across from left to right. Not much breeze to speak of, but Ricky able to hammer that one out of here to center field. Just never wanted to come down. And well, Ricky's had a good series. Got a start last night, a couple of hits, a walk, an RBI. And now gets the Brewers on the board in the second inning. Our Powerball home run count for Weeks, number 8. Gives Giovanni Gallardo a 1-0 lead.
Second homer on the road trip for Ricky Weeks. He homered to center field in St. Louis. Or rather in Pittsburgh, and Ricky enjoying the playing time and starting to put some numbers up. Be a key few days for Ricky Weeks as well. He'll be a free agent at the end of the season.
You know, that's the 8th home run allowed by Holmberg. He's only allowed 25 hits.
Wow.
About a third of the hits that he's allowed have been home runs.
Jason Rogers getting his first start at first base in the big leagues today. Former Brewer minor league player of the year 2 years ago. Been a revolving door at first base for Milwaukee this season. Well, Rogers had a good year in the minor leagues this year. Split time between AA and AAA, combined for 18 home runs and 82 RBIs. He lines out one foul. Nice catch up there. 2-2 on Rogers.
Yeah, Rogers, the 5th different first baseman to be used by the Brewers, or at least starting at first base. Not quite as many as last year, but that's a lot.
Yeah, that's been an open spot for Milwaukee ever since Prince Fielder left. There's a little tapper back to the mound. Holmberg will make the play to end the inning. But the Brewers get one on the board. Ricky Weeks with a 2-out, 2-strike home run to center field, his second of the road trip. And the Brew Crew on the board first here this afternoon. We head to the bottom of the second.
Here in the bottom of the second inning, as B.A. and Rock mentioned, Jason Rogers is making his first major league start at first base. He split time between third and first down in the minor leagues this season. And Ron Renicky said that he feels comfortable putting Rogers at first because that's his more natural position. But if he's able to play multiple positions, that can make him, A, more versatile, and B, it gives him an opportunity to remain at the big league level for a long period of time.
Yeah, tell you, down in the minor league, Jason Rogers was moved around quite a bit. He played some outfield, some first base, some third base, and certainly the bat plays, and if he hits, the Brewers are certainly going to find a spot for him. The Brewers minor league player of the year last year.
Well, he's a guy that's put up good numbers in the minor leagues. He's proven he can hit. Got good plate discipline is the book on him. And when you ask about Jason Rogers, they usually come back with big guy, good athlete for his size.
Which is why he can play a number of different positions.
One gone for Gallardo. Here's Tucker Barnhart, a switch hitting catcher, getting a chance in the major leagues here in this final month. Excellent defensive catcher. Reds are not sure if he's going to hit much at the big league level, but he's in there as a starter today. Reds have one of the best catchers in the game in Devin Mesoraco, who made the All-Star team this year. Barnhart trying to put his name in the hat for the backup spot next season. We'll see if Gallardo can clean it up here in the second inning.
That's a pretty good pitch right there.
Giovanni stranding the bases loaded in the first inning, giving up 2 hits and a walk. 2-2 to Barnhart, and that one's in there. Called strike 3. Down he goes. Second K for Giovanni Gallardo. Both of them are backwards Ks.
And not getting much playing time. You wonder why young man taking so many pitches. That's pretty much the same pitch that was called a ball right before that. This one called a strike. Well, you get some playing time in September in the big league. You got to be up there hacking a little bit.
Here's Holmberg, a left-handed pitcher, but a right-handed batter. Gallardo trying to go 1-2-3 through this second inning. Holmberg, lazy little fly ball to right, and that's the inning he needed. Nice and quick. It had been 8 pitches, a 1-2-3 second for Giovanni. 1-0 Brew Crew. Last road game of the regular season.
Nothing lead, courtesy of a Ricky Weeks home run. And this Saturday is Fan Appreciation Night presented by Chevrolet. The Brewers host the Cubs. And all fans in attendance will be automatically entered for the chance to win fabulous prizes, including a 2014 Chevrolet Equinox. Call 902-4000 or visit Brewers.com for tickets.
Sounds like fun at Miller Park. Hope you join us for one last 3-game series in the regular season. Brewers Cubs in a 3-game set. Brewers have set their rotation for the remainder of the season. Matt Garza will get the opener tomorrow. Willie Peralta will pitch that night on Saturday night. And then Mike Fiers will round it out on Sunday afternoon. 4 to play. The Brewers mathematically alive. If it does go to a 163rd game, that game would be in San Francisco. Well, Brewers trying to do their part, just keep on winning, put the pressure on the Giants to do the same.
Yep, and Milwaukee fans should be rooting for the Padres. Padre fans in Milwaukee.
Yeah, the Dodgers clinched the West last night. Clayton Kershaw was brilliant and might have just clinched an MVP award in the National League last night. Segura on the ground to Cozart. One shortstop to the other. First out of the 3rd inning. So you got Washington, the Nationals, were the first to clinch in the National League East. The Dodgers are winners of the National League West. The Central Division is still up for grabs. Cardinals have a 1.5 game lead over the Pirates. As Gallardo sends one into left field, that'll be playable for Ludwig, just shy of the track for out number 2. Yeah, the interesting thing about the Cardinals and the Pirates, they are separated by 1 game in the loss column. Our Marshfield Clinic pulse on the playoffs. You got the Dodgers and the Nationals are in. They'll be hosting division series games, and then still up for grabs in the Central Division. Right now the Pirates and the Giants are in the 2 wild card spots. Carlos Gomez on the first pitch, shallow center field. Rodriguez makes the play, and that is a quick 3-up, 3-down inning. Holmberg retires him in order on 5 pitches. Lead as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. How about some of the defensive plays last night? A number of these in our Southwest Airlines non-stoppable plays of the night.
Yeah, there were some good plays on both sides. Kyle Loesch had a nice play. All around down the line, Gerardo Parra barely in fair territory or foul territory, and then Carlos Gomez going back into the gap, and hauling one in. You always need good defense. You're going to throw a shutout, a 2-hit shutout at that. So good defense, good pitching, and just enough offense to get the win last night.
Gallardo coming off a quick inning in the second, an 8-pitch inning, deals strike one to Brandon Phillips. Reds are back at the top of their order.
Maybe the best play was that Ricky Weeks play up the middle.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That was tremendous. A ground ball up the middle on the shortstop side of the bag, and you know the tricky part was the throw. Get rid of it quickly. Ricky had enough arm to get the out.
Brandon Phillips with a line drive to right, a base hit. Well, simple swing, opposite field stroke. Phillips is aboard with the Reds' third hit. All of them singles. Gallardo had the bases loaded in the first inning, was able to get through it.
And Brandon Phillips not going to get cheated ever at the plate. Curveball that stayed up. Stays back nicely and just kind of dumps it into right. Didn't hit it all that well, but able to get enough of it. So Yabani's having a difficult time putting the curveball where he wants it. Some down in the dirt, others up in the strike zone.
Here's Brian Pena now. Showing bunt. Pena single to the opposite field in the first inning. On a swing that looked a lot like Brandon Phillips' swing just a moment ago from the other side. He's bunting again. Gallardo will jump on it, barehands it, and Pena's retired.
That's a head scratcher right there. I mean, it's one of your better hitters in your lineup. I mean, this guy could swing it. Not sure why you're dropping down bunts in the third inning.
I'm against all bunting in September.
Unless he did it on his own, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why Brian Price would ask him to sacrifice bunt in the third inning.
It feels like one that was on his own. He showed bunt first pitch and then dropped one down to advance Phillips' second. So that'll put the tying run at second base. We're only in the third inning. And here's Todd Frazier now. Frazier takes a fastball strike. He doesn't like the call from Dale Scott. And a few players argue with the home plate umpire early. He's opened the door for that low strike, and if that's the case, Gallardo could have a good day today. He lives on that bottom edge of the strike zone, at least when he's right. And a swing and a miss. There's a good hook right there.
I don't think too many people watch baseball over the course of the year have any sympathy for the hitters when they get called out in strikes.
Especially the Brewers TV analyst.
I mean, come on.
If you want to be more specific.
I mean, I was a guy that swung at the rosin bag. I told you that. I mean, I'd swing at anything. So, you know, you kind of take it with a grain of salt. But man alive.
I'm with you, man. The way the strike zone is these days, I mean, you got to be. They get so few pitches. Now Phillips on his way to third as that one skips away from Lucroy. Now that changes the inning a little bit. It's going to be a wild pitch. Phillips at third base with one out.
Yeah, slider that time, I think, and Lucroy actually kicked that away from him. That could have been a pass ball, but not sure how they ruled it. Wild pitch.
And now a spot where Gallardo is looking for a strikeout. Brewers are going to bring their infield in. Runner at third, one out, and Frazier punches one foul. I had to look down at my scorecard. I feel like this is the 8th inning of a 1-0 game. We got bunting, sack bunting. We have infield in.
Yeah.
Brewers are going to try to cut that run off. Good speed over there in Phillips. Another 1-2 pitch. Frazier fouls it away again.
Yeah, Ronnie able to get in on his hands a little bit. Frazier late, but able to make contact. thing about Pena going up there to bunt. I mean, you got Frazier and Bruce coming up. I mean, two guys that hit the ball out of the ballpark. Giovanni's not a guy that gets a lot of ground ball outs, so you don't have to worry too much about the double play.
Yeah, I'm with you. Just giving him an out. There's a fastball strike. He got him. Gallardo doubles up on the fastball, and Frazier got caught guessing. Second out of the inning. And for Gallardo, that's his third strikeout. They've all been called strike threes.
Well, you can see it. This one had plenty of the plate. This time Frazier knew it. No argument by him. See, it was high enough. Outer half of the plate, and a big strikeout for Gallardo.
That allows the Brewers to put their infielders back in normal depth. Here's Jay Bruce with Phillips at third. Brandon Phillips always keeps you entertained, and he's having a little fun with Aramis Ramirez. Ramirez is off the bag a little bit. Phillips is daring him to keep him close. There's a strike to Bruce.
And the reason why you want to keep him close in the event that Giovanni spikes one of those curveballs. You know, with the way Phillips is able to get that lead, it's not going to take much for him to be able to score.
The 1-1, and it's in the dirt.
Yeah, they say you get off. If you're leading off at third base, you get off as far as the third baseman is away from the bag.
Well, Ramirez doing all he can to try to get Phillips to break back to the base. After that last pitch, Ramirez went to the bag as if a throw was coming. Startled Phillips a little bit. 2-2 to Jay Bruce. Curveball drops in. Now Bruce has had a tough year at the plate. Had a knee injury this year that required minor surgery early in the season. We're talking about his home run output earlier. Bruce has 18 home runs, and that's not a bad number, but those aren't Jay Bruce numbers. When you've hit at least 30 homers in the last 3 seasons, there is a higher expectation. Fewest home runs in a season he's ever had was his rookie year. He had 21 home runs. That was in 08. 2-2. Gallardo misses. 3 balls, 2 strikes now.
Tried that cutter on the back end and just missed the outside corner, the backdoor cutter. Fox Tracks has it off the plate, and Jay Bruce takes it.
Full count with a runner at third, and Bruce rips one into right field, a base hit. In to score is Brandon Phillips, and it's a 2-out 2-strike single that produces a run. We're all tied at 1.
So I guess that's why he sacrificed bunt. Had it not been for that, Reds wouldn't have a run on the board. So much for second guessing the Reds. All tied up on a Jay Bruce base hit, his second hit of the day. Fastball right down the middle, and Bruce able to knock it into right field.
Yeah, not the pitch Gallardo wanted to make right there. So it's a 2-out RBI for Bruce, all even at 1 apiece. Here is Ryan Ludwig now with 2 outs. And on the first pitch, he pops it up. That's Ricky Weeks in the grass, and he's got it for the out to end the inning. But the Reds tie it up, get a 2-out single from Bruce, all even at 1 as we go to the 4th. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. Fountains are up. Fountain Square, one of the great attractions here in downtown Cincinnati. All even at 1 apiece. Just a gorgeous day here today. Temperatures in the low 70s. Bengals are off to a good start. Things are going well here in Cincinnati as they hit the fall.
Well, they got a lot going on at Fountain Square every single day.
Yep.
Every single night, something going on.
So impressive what they've done with their downtown area. Revitalized this area over the last decade. And their sports teams have held up tall recently as well. The Reds, up until this year, have been frequent postseason competitors. Ryan Braun starts it for the Brewers here in the 4th. Flew out to left his first time up. He sent Ludwig to the warning track. These two teams will see each other once again in Arizona next spring. Reds train in Goodyear, Arizona, out in the West Valley. Brewers are in Phoenix proper, in Maryville. Braun's on the Powerball home run leaderboard. He's still sitting on 19. Reynolds, Davis, Gomez are the club leaders with 22 home runs. Gomez hit his 22nd home run on this road trip. That was against Cueto as Braun lines one into left center field. Ludwig trying to cut it off, does so. Braun will hold up. He took a big turn around first and will settle for the single. A good play out there by Ludwig. Brian Braun with a single to start the 4th.
And good hustle by Braun, thinking double. A little bit of a bobble, maybe a misplay out there, and Braun's going to be able to cruise into second base. There's that cut fastball that stayed down and in on Braun, just able to drop the hands on it. You see Ludwig two-hands it and gets it in quickly. Trying to get himself into scoring position, has to put on the brakes.
And you knew Brandon Phillips was going to throw one over there just for the fun of it, so you had to hustle back. All right, here's Lucroy now. All right, if Lucroy bunts Braun over here, we're packing up, we're leaving. Right?
He's looking to get a double.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he's not bunting. He wants a double.
We saw a bunt last inning.
Yeah, I get
third
you.
Inning.
I get you.
Lucroy still a double away from a franchise record. He's been sitting on 52 doubles for a while now. Lucroy leads the National League in doubles. He's just the 3rd in franchise history to have at least 50 doubles in a season. He's already matched a major league record for doubles by a catcher. He's currently tied with Pudge Rodriguez for most doubles by a catcher.
Including today, it's been 6 games between doubles for Lucroy. So it's been a wait longer than anybody had anticipated.
Brewers history, Lyle Overbay is the franchise leader. He did it in his first tour in Milwaukee. Did that in 04. Lucroy with 52 is currently 2nd, and Ramirez back in 2012 had 50. That led the league that year. Quite a feat for Lucroy. Holds a major league record with Rodriguez. He'd love to own it by himself. He does have the National League record for doubles by a catcher. He caught and passed Yadier Molina on this road trip. Molina set that mark last year with 44 doubles. And no catcher in the modern era has led his league in doubles. Going back to the 1900 season, that quantifies the modern era. There was a catcher who led the league in doubles back in 1891. But in the modern era, Lucroy would become the first to do it. Looks like a cinch to do that. Freddie Freeman is his nearest challenger in the doubles category.
More importantly, a double here, probably going to score a run. That's what Luke's thinking.
Lucroy has 10 more doubles than Freeman. Well, he's got the count in his favor here. 3 balls and a strike.
And Lucroy would gladly exchange 10 of those doubles for 10 wins. The kind of guy he is. Just wants to win no matter how it happens.
That cluster of pitches on Fox tracks, everything down in the zone. Holmberg trying to stay out of his power. And he misses down again, and that's ball 4. And this inning going the Brewers' way early. 2 on with nobody out in the 4th for Ramos Ramirez. Telly Hughes has more on Jonathan Lucroy. What do you have, Telly?
Well, BA, you guys have talked about that major league record double that Jonathan Lucroy is still chasing, and once he gets that, that will be able to allow Ron Renicky to free him up to do things he wants to do. I mean, in a normal day like this, he would like to put Luke at first and then possibly have Maldonado or even Pagnazzi behind the plate with a lefty on the mound, but he is well aware of this record, and he wants to make sure Luke gets it, and once he does, you can see Luke most likely not catch any more this season.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it's a good thought, and I think that's important to reward your players who have had the type of season that Lucroy's had. I mean, a major league record is significant, and especially a doubles record like this. That means a lot. I'll see if the Brewers can cash in here. 2 on, nobody out. Ramirez, who homered off Holmberg in their matchup at Miller Park, had a chance with some men on base. Ramos had one of those days yesterday. He was up twice with the bases loaded. He ended up stranding 7 runners on base yesterday. Gets a chance to redeem himself today. The Brewers didn't need it. They won the game 5-0.
Well, it turned out that they didn't need it.
Ball skips away, and both runners will advance. That'll be a wild pitch. And so now 2nd and 3rd with nobody out.
And one that normally a catcher in the big leagues is going to say he should have blocked. Barnhart a little bit slow getting down. He's upset with himself, and that takes away the double play. A short hop. Normally he was thinking about making a throw. I think that's what it was. He was picking it, trying to make a throw, and lost it. Got away from him, and both runners able to advance.
Now Barnhart knows Holmberg well. His battery made at AAA. Ramirez, a shot right to Phillips, who's coming to the plate, and the throw, and it is in time. What a catch and a tag by Barnhart there. Ramirez takes a stumble at first base.
What a player he is, Brandon Phillips. I mean, he's something else. That ball was hit like a rocket. I mean, it was positioned perfectly, and look at the throw from Phillips into home plate. See, right there, Barnhart able to get him right on the inside of the leg before Braun tags the plate. That's a good call by Dale Scott. And Brandon Phillips making a tremendous play to keep it at a 1-1 game.
Now Phillips always willing to ad lib, and he did right there. I think he caught Barnhart a little bit by surprise. That was a heck of a play by the Reds catcher, though. A scoop and a tag. That's not easy to do with a catcher's mitt. First out of the inning. Ron Renicky just giving his replay crew a little time to check it out. Looks like he clearly tagged him.
I mean, clearly gets him. Now, what happens a lot of times in these plays is they're going to see if Barnhart is blocking off home plate. I mean, I can't imagine that they're going to a review to see if he was tagged, because it certainly looked like he was.
Most managers in a spot like this, they will not challenge the play. They will ask the crew chief to look at whether he was blocking the plate or not. Rule 713, which comes up a lot. And when you go to replay challenge on this particular rule, even if it's a crew chief challenge, you can still look at safe or out. So,
well, the issue here is that even if he did block the plate, it's okay, or he's in the line of Ryan Braun, because the throw took him in that direction. He tried as best he could, talking about Barnhart, to stay out of the way or get out of the line of You know, Ryan Braun's path to home plate. This is going to be quick and easy.
Yeah,
this is obvious.
That was a crew chief review.
If the throw takes you in a position where you're blocking the plate off, it's okay. And that was clearly the issue. But Barnhart still, even though the throw was off the mark, was able to get out of Braun's way.
Took 47 seconds to review that. Well, game still tied at 1, first and third here with 1 out for Chris Davis. In the air to right, Jay Bruce with that strong arm is winding it up. And here comes Lucroy on the way to the plate. The throw is late. Lucroy scores. And the Brewers regain the lead on a sac fly and an RBI from Davis.
And just barely deep enough. I mean, we saw that in last night's ball game, although Kyle Loesch was at third base. The fly ball out to Bruce, not quite as deep as this one, but Jay Bruce with that great throwing arm. It was kind of a question mark whether he was going to be able to score on this one.
I thought he kind of caught that flat-footed. Normally, Bruce, who's a very good outfielder, you want to catch that on the run, moving your momentum toward home plate. Bruce has a cannon for an arm. And certainly had a shot to throw out Lucroy, who runs well for a catcher, don't get me wrong, but he's not a speedster by any stretch. And Ricky Weeks is drilled on the first pitch.
Holmberg hit a couple of batters in the first inning in his start against the Brewers at Miller Park. He was able to settle down, and Holmberg likes to try and throw inside. And no chance for Weeks to get out of the way of that one. That was a fastball just below the knee.
Ouch. Yeah, right on the shin. So after Weeks homers in the second, he's hit by a pitch here in the fourth. And that'll make it first and second with 2 outs for Jason Rogers. Rogers had a little tapper back to the mound in the second inning. Still looking for his first career major league RBI. Got a chance at one right here. Has not homered in the big leagues, hasn't been here long. Rogers part of the group of September call-ups for Milwaukee. Just his 7th appearance in a big league game. There's a snap throw to first, and Weeks is back.
Barnhart giving the sign to Pena to sneak in behind Ricky Weeks. And a pretty good snap throw down to first. A little bit high, a little bit late.
Two on, 2 out. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and Rogers fouls it back. That play by Barnhart is a good example of how catchers bear the burden so often, more than most position players. I'd say more than any other position player. You know, Barnhart tried to pick a pitch in the dirt and make a throw. The pitch got away from him. Both runners advance. That sets up a sacrifice fly. Catchers feel that burden to try to overcome.
Yep, help their pitcher who's having a rough time trying to make a big play.
A swing and a miss. He tied him up with a fastball. Rogers is down on strikes. Well, the Brewers get 3 runners on in the inning, squeeze 1 run out of it. It's 2-1. Milwaukee answering a run-scoring Reds half inning with one of their own to regain the lead here. Gallardo starts his 4th inning of work. How about our Carsoup.com trivia question today? Which team selected 5th overall in the 1992 MLB draft? 1 pick before the Yankees drafted Derek Jeter. Yeah, the top 4. They passed on by. Remember, Derek Jeter was scouted and recommended by current Brewers scout Dick Grosh. German Rodriguez will lead off for Cincinnati. 6, 7, and 8 in the lineup coming up against Gallardo. Rodriguez shows bunt in the air. Ramirez will let it roll, and it's going to stick in that thick grass. And a bunt single by Rodriguez.
Well, disguised the bunt pretty well. It wasn't that good of a bunt. Popped it up, but Ramirez behind the bag. I mean, once he wasn't able to get to it in the air, you knew it was going to be a tough play. Only choice he had was to see if it was going to go foul. No way he's going to throw him out once it hit the ground.
So a leadoff base runner for Cincinnati. 2nd consecutive inning they've had their lead batter reach. Derek Jeter set to play his final game at Yankee Stadium tonight. The Orioles and the Yankees. Yankees finished their season in Boston this weekend. Got a few other day games today. Some late afternoon starts in the big leagues. There is one other game underway now. It's the first of a doubleheader between the Mets and the Nationals.
Yeah, they got rained out last night.
Nothing like a doubleheader on September 25th.
And once you've already clinched, right?
But important games because the best record is still up for grabs, so they have to play them. And of course, you got to play them when you have an opportunity to, and they have the opportunity today. It'll be a day-night doubleheader.
Yeah, Washington one more win than the Dodgers for home field advantage.
Feels like that could end up as the NLCS, perhaps. Whoever has the best record not only has home field in the league division and league championship series, but you also match up against the team that comes out of the wild card game. So you catch the team that has had to grind it out, maybe use their best pitcher. That's why I like this current system the way it is. It protects the division winners. That wasn't the case in the divisional era, when the wild card team would go right into the division series and would play, basically you'd be involved in a 5-game series, and a lot of wild card teams have made it and won the World Series.
Yeah.
Cardinals did that in 2011. There's a swing and a foul by Cozart.
Don't have to remind us about that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, the Brewers won the division that year. Cardinals got in as the wild card. That was the year prior to this current system, where the 2 wild card teams play in a 1-game play-in, essentially, to make it into the division series. Runner takes off. Cozart fouls it off. I think Cozart got a good piece of Jonathan Lucroy on his follow-through.
Rodriguez had a nice jump. Not sure Lucroy was going to be able to throw him out.
Check the follow-through here with Cozart.
Got him on the elbow.
Yeah, stung him. That's why it's so impressive what Lucroy is doing at the plate this year. All those little shots you take, foul balls and follow-through swings. pitches in the dirt.
All the things that other position players don't have to deal with. It's not so much the legs. I mean, everybody talks about how tired the legs get. It's just the bumps and bruises.
2-2 the count to Cozart. And that one just missed. Fastball from Gallardo. Count goes full now, and we'll probably see Rodriguez take off with this pitch. Reds scored a run in the third. Jay Bruce had a 2-out RBI single. Brewers got it back with a sac fly in the fourth by Davis. 3-2. Runner goes, and a swing and a foul. Long at bat for Zach Cozart. This will be the 8th pitch of the sequence coming here. Gallardo's just not free and easy like he was against Pittsburgh. He's grinding out there. He's taking time between pitches.
And pitch count's climbing on. 4th inning. We're sitting at 61 pitches. A very high pitch count first inning for Yo.
He still does not have an out in this 4th inning. Runner goes again. Cozart fouls it away. It's been an 8-pitch at bat. Rodriguez getting in his wind sprints out at first base. Gallardo can get a strikeout. Got a chance at a strike him out, throw him out, double play. Full count. There he goes again, and a swing and a foul. Those are taking a rip with 2 strikes.
He's hitting everything that Yo's throwing up at him right now. Fastballs, curveballs. The only thing he really hadn't thrown yet, that cut fastball, the slider. That is definitely a strike him out, throw him out pitch.
Meanwhile, Rodriguez is running lines over there at first base.
Unseasonably warm here in Cincinnati.
There's the cluster of pitches. That 9th pitch tried to get him with a high fastball. Pitch number 10 of the at-bat. Runner goes again. Cozart pops it up. This is in fair territory. Rogers now in foul grounds will make the catch for the out.
Stay with the fastball and got him on a pop-up.
Finally shook him after 10 pitches. Well, Rock, you can join the Bucks for free youth basketball clinics with instruction from Bucks rookie Johnny O'Bryant III. September 26th and 27th. That's tomorrow and Saturday. The clinics will be held in Eau Claire on Friday and Wausau on Saturday. They're open to the public. For more information, foxsportswisconsin.com. Click on the upcoming events tab on the Hot Topics bar.
I would, but I'm working.
Well, that's right. We got a game tomorrow.
I'd go.
Let's kick it over to Eau Claire.
Got a pretty good hook shot if you didn't know.
It's only youth clinics anyway. It's been a long time since you've been a youth. Long time. Tucker Barnhart takes the ball.
I would imagine you were a pretty good player back in your day, huh?
I was what you would call a cherry picker, Rock. Just hanging out at the 3-point line.
And waiting for,
waiting for a pass.
Waiting for transition.
Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Catch and shoot. Still play that way. Barnhart turns on one, hooks it foul.
That was kind of a banger underneath.
Yeah, I bet you were. Throwing elbows. Great way to stay in shape, basketball. We still play in the offseason. You're welcome to join us anytime. Right there in the Swallow Elementary School gym.
I might join you one day.
You should. You'd like this group. It's the first. No, I've played a lot of basketball in the off season with a lot of different people, different, schools and school gyms and church gyms and what have you. This is the first group I've ever been around where Everybody plays basketball, and then everybody goes to the bar afterwards.
That's my kind of game.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Would I be the tallest guy there?
No. Heck no. Not at all. You had a lot of big boys there.
Yeah.
Lucroy taking one off the mask. He's had a few dings in this game. Why wouldn't you want to be a catcher, right? Bam. Direct hit.
Yeah.
You don't see any athletic trainers out there.
One of many.
He's all right. Rub some dirt on it.
And you wonder why I kind of lose focus from time to time.
Did you say something?
Yeah.
I don't remember you ever losing focus. I just thought that was just you. That was just the way you are.
Just ignoring you? Never.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Barnard.
Well, a lot of foul balls today. And we didn't see too many of those in that Pittsburgh start. Giovanni, not as crisp with his pitches today as he was 5 days ago in Pitt.
This will be the 70th pitch for Gallardo. 1 out in the 4th inning. Going to be a short start for him today. He'd love a double play ball here. 2-2 and a bouncing ball. Ricky Weeks is there. He spins, goes to second, but a bad throw, and Segura can't dig it out.
Got to get up.
And on his way to third goes Rodriguez.
All right, somebody got to get that baseball. He just can't lay there. That's good base running by Rodriguez, but not sure why Gene Segura just laid there and allowed the ball to trickle away. Got to get up and get it. Secure the baseball. Make sure they stay put. A bad throw by Ricky Weeks. He was trying to be a little bit too quick. Now Segura's got to get up and get this baseball. Not sure why he didn't. And Rodriguez gets into third base. That's not a good play on both ends.
No reason to lay on the ground. Those are the kind of plays that just been dogging the Brewers during this stretch.
And no reason for it.
Those mental lapses. All right, so first and third now. Here's the pitcher Holmberg. Brewers expecting a bunt. Holmberg gets it down. Gallardo fields it, falls down, and the throw is in time. What a play that was by Gallardo. Man, the athleticism to be able to make a throw like that from the seat of your pants.
Yeah, he had the right guy getting down the line. The pitcher not running all that well. It's a beautiful bunt, and once Gallardo got to it, he planted the foot and slipped. It's fortunate they didn't twist an ankle. Able to get him at first base. Ricky Weeks covering.
Heck of a play. Brewers very fortunate to get it out by an eyelash at first. Well, that goes as a sacrifice bunt for Holmberg. Second and third now against Gallardo with Brandon Phillips coming up. Two on, 2 out. Phillips can give the Reds the lead with a swing. If you're wondering why Yorman Rodriguez didn't score on that bunt, at least on that throw, it's because Aramis Ramirez recognized that Gallardo was going to make the play, and instead of just standing there, he sprinted back to the bag. He forced Rodriguez to make a play, make a decision.
Yep, just in case they did make a throw back to third base. That's a good point.
Rodriguez was kind of easing off the line and probably thinking he could score if there was a throw to first, but Aramis Ramirez didn't allow him to do it.
Yeah, watching the background, Ramirez is going to hustle back to third base, and that brings Rodriguez back to third, and by that time too late for him to score. So good heads up play by Aramis Ramirez.
There's always somewhere to be.
Yeah, everybody has something to do on every play. No standing around in baseball.
Two balls and a strike on Brandon Phillips. Phillips took a curveball in the third inning and just slapped it into right field. A hanging curveball. Phillips did what you're supposed to do with it. Hit a line drive.
And just don't try and pull it, right?
2-1, and Phillips pulls this one foul. Tell you what, it has been a tough one for Gallardo. Hard to believe he's only given up one run.
He's had just 1 3-up 3-down inning. That was his second, and Reds have had scoring opportunities in all 3 of the other innings.
Gallardo has allowed 5 hits, given up a walk. Bad play out at the bag at second by Segura a moment ago. And Phillips on the ground. Segura's got it. And he spins and throws. And now a good play by Segura to end the inning. And Gallardo able to muscle through the 4th. He threw a lot of pitches, but puts up a 0. Still 2-1 Crew.
Over the Reds. Time to check in with their crew in the community. Partnered with their Brewers wives in support of Sojourner Family Peace Center by purchasing an exclusive Brewers Wives shirt made especially for that special lady in your life. Shorts are available for purchase as well in the team store by Majestic.
Here we go to the 5th inning. 4 innings in the books. The Brewers have a 2-1 lead. A lot of traffic on the base paths today for both teams. Final game of the season series between the Brewers and the Reds. A season series that is all even at 9 apiece. Segura drops a bunt down and it hits the bat for a second time. And he's calling it a foul ball.
Pretty close.
It was close. If he's out of the box, it's an out. Brian Price, the Reds manager, is on his way out to get an explanation.
If the bat hits the baseball the second time in fair territory, it's interference.
Let's see here. Check the feet. Matter of fact, he bunted it out of the box.
Well, that's pretty close.
Both feet are out.
That back foot. We're going to take a look at it. This could go either way right here. Segura up in the box. Question is that trail foot still in the box on the line? If it is, he's okay. Your guess is as good as mine. Could go either way.
And the umpires get together and say it is a foul ball. All right, so Segura will get another pitch, not reviewable, by the way.
One of the few instances where a manager and an umpire can get into a bit of a scuffle.
Yeah.
A little bit of a shouting contest, things that aren't reviewable. Interference is not reviewable. Tag-up plays aren't reviewable, amongst others. And Brian Price satisfied with the meeting amongst the umpires.
The only interference play that is reviewable is fan interference. Fan reaches over, grabs a ball. There's a slow roller. Holmberg throws out Segura for the first out. Good play by the Reds pitcher. One away here in the fifth.
The most popular way to follow the Brewers and the September pennant races is with MLB.com at bat. The #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replays, score updates, and live radio broadcast. Download at bat free for your smartphone or tablet in the App Store.
Well, a game to keep an eye on tonight will be later tonight out on the West Coast, the Giants and the Padres. If the Brewers win today, they can stay alive for one more day if San Diego beats San Francisco. That game is in San Francisco tonight. A lazy swing by Gallardo. Brandon Phillips will make the play for out number 2. Reds fans booing Gallardo's slow jog to first base. Well, now time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag WisFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by AT&T. 2 up, 2 down here in the 5th inning. Back to the top of the order in Gomez. Cardinals is 0 for 2. 2 fly ball outs. 1 to right, 1 to center. And that one's into left field, falling fast, but there to make the play is Ludwig. 3 up, 3 down for Holmberg. 4.5 in the books. Reds are coming up, trailing 2-1 to the Brewers. inning on this beautiful Thursday in Cincinnati. Hey, coming up Saturday, MLB returns to Fox. Derek Jeter's final weekend series, Yankees Red Sox from Fenway, while the Pirates will try to hang on to the final NL wild card spot against the Cincinnati Reds right here from Cincinnati. That's on Fox Sports 1. So 11:30 a.m. on Fox, noon Central on FS1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go as well. Gallardo back to work. Ton of pitches, 76 of them as we enter the 5th inning now. Brian Pena leads off. Dropped down a sac bunt his last time up. That set up a run for the Reds in the 3rd. Got Pena, Frazier, and Bruce. And Pena lines one into right center. And again, the Reds put their leadoff batter on. That is the 3rd consecutive inning. Gallardo goes back in the stretch. Speaking of Derek Jeter, he's in our trivia question today. We want to know in our carsoup.com trivia which team selected 5th overall in the '92 draft. The one pick before the Yankees drafted high schooler Derek Jeter out of Michigan. That would be the Cincinnati Reds.
And if you knew that without looking that up,
oh, everybody knows that, Ron.
That's impressive.
Figure there was some kind of tie there. There's a chance to turn 2. Ramirez to Weeks over to first, and Rogers missed it. Flat out missed the baseball. So instead of a double play, Frazier will reach on a fielder's choice. No error will be charged. And assume a double play, which is a silly rule, really.
Yeah, especially when it comes down to something like that, right? I mean, it's about as routine a double play as you can get. Frazier doesn't run all that well. Good throw from Ricky, and he just missed it. Right off the end of the glove, and just missed it. So just 1 out in the inning instead of 2.
Frustrated Gallardo. All right, so Jay Bruce up there now with a runner at first. By the way, if you're wondering, the Reds in '92 took Chad Mottola, an outfielder. Can't blame him. Scouting's very difficult. Who knew Derek Jeter was going to be Derek Jeter?
Right. Dick Gross knew it.
Dick Gross did. He said, we got to take this guy.
The Yankees came to Miller Park. They had a nice chat. They still are friends and communicate. Dick Gross, one of the better professional scouts there is out there.
A long-time scout, very well-respected scout, Dick Gross. Been with Doug Melvin a while as well. This is how it lined up for the 1992 draft. Phil Nevin was the star out of college. He was a College World Series hero. And Paul Shuey, B.J. Wallace, Jeffrey Hammonds, Chad Mottola. Man.
Charles Johnson, catcher. Jason Kendall on that list.
Charles Johnson. I thought Charles Johnson was going to be one of the great catchers in the history of baseball.
Tremendous defensive catcher. Hurt himself and never heard from again.
He was something, right? Two balls and a strike on Bruce. See if Gallardo can get another double play ball here. Pick up his teammate Rogers. And a swing and a miss, 2-2.
Yeah, good slider that time. Back foot slider down and in. Bruce over the top of it. Jay Bruce, 2 base hits, both coming on fastballs today.
By the way, the official score just made an announcement. He is charging Jason Rogers with an E3 on that last play. must feel like he's got some leeway in the scoring guide. I didn't think there was a way you could give an error on a double play scenario, but at least for now, this official score in Cincinnati thinks you can. So there's an error on the board. The Brewers have 2 errors in this game.
Yeah. Well, that was obviously, a play that should have been made. It's a little bit different than a bad throw. I think the bad throw, that rule kind of protects the middle infielder when he gets taken out on a double play. If he, in fact, gets knocked over, throws one into the seats.
There's a ground ball. It hits the bag and down into the right field corner. Frazier around third. He's going to be held there. Bruce into second with a double. And the Reds have it cooking again here in the 5th. Second and third with 1 out. Bruce with his 3rd hit of the day.
And that's where that Bot's double play certainly hurts the Brewers, no doubt. Should have been 2 outs, nobody on, but now the ball hits the bag. It would have been gotten by Jason Rogers anyway and down into the corner. So second and third and 1 out.
And out comes Rick Kranitz, the Brewer pitching coach.
A less than perfect defensive effort in this game by the Brew Crew. And under the circumstances, I mean, the Brewers are still alive in the postseason. Just can't play like that.
Nope.
As slim as the hopes are in the postseason, there's still a chance that it could happen, and it just can't be giving away outs, giving away bases.
That's been a common theme for the Brewers here in this poor stretch of baseball. Well, Gallardo's got a bow his neck again. So second and third with 1 out for Ryan Ludwig. He swung at the first pitch his last time up. He popped up to second. Reds have 7 hits in this game. Ludwig drew a walk in the first to load the bases. Gallardo was able to get out of that jam. Cincinnati has stranded 6 runners today already through the first 4 innings.
Yeah, Gallardo's been in trouble in every inning but the second. Pitch count really climbing on him, 87 now.
One ball, 1 strike. Tying run at third, go ahead run at second base, and Ludwig in the air. Long run for Weeks, back in the grass, and he drops the ball, and a run's going to score. Oh,
boy. Not much to say about what's going on defensively today. As good as it was yesterday, that's how bad it is today.
So not only do the Brewers not get an out, but a run scores. Frazier might have tagged anyway. Weeks was trying to put himself in a position to catch and throw, and he just missed the ball. Now, this is a disaster of a defensive game here, especially in this inning. Just got to make plays like that.
Yeah, in their routine. I doubt that Todd Frazier's going to tag up anyway. I mean, there is a chance, as you mentioned, but he didn't run all that well, and that wasn't that far out into right field. You don't have to be all that quick to catch it and throw it.
All tied at 2. Here is Rodriguez, and he breaks his bat into right field, a base hit. Bruce around third. Braun's throw coming in, and Bruce is in there. So Cincinnati takes the lead. RBI single by Yorman Rodriguez. Second career RBI in the big leagues, and it puts the Reds on top.
Rodriguez able to slice that one into right field on a fastball that was middle in. And Bruce with decent speed, no base burner, but Ryan Braun not able to get him at home plate. Jay Bruce scores the go-ahead run, and the Brewers have literally given away a couple of runs in this inning.
2 errors in the inning. Make it 3 hits in the inning now. Here's Zach Cozart. First and second with 1 out. Gallardo in desperate need of a double play ball. 2 on, 1 away. Cozart runs pretty well. Gallardo's got him in a hole, a ball, and 2 strikes. Brewers have committed 3 errors. Ricky Weeks has 2 of them. Gallardo just can't put the hitters away today. A lot of foul balls.
And leaving pitches up in the strike zone. That gives hitters an opportunity to get the bat on it. They might not center it up, but stay alive. You get those pitches down, you might get a ground ball or a swing and a miss.
That one's in the air. Shallow center. Gomez will come in a few steps. And the runners have to hold their ground. So Gallardo gets the second out. He should be out of this inning.
As much of a struggle as it has been for Giovanni today, he certainly has pitched better than the 3 runs on the board. Any kind of defense today, particularly in this inning, and he'd still have the lead 2-1.
He's been grinding just about every inning. Had that 8-pitch, 3 up, 3 down second inning. But other than that, it has been a lot of work. 2 outs in the 5th. Runners at first and second for the switch hitting catcher Tucker Barnhart. Barnhart, known as an excellent defender, he won the equivalent of the Gold Glove Award throughout the Reds minor league system, given to the player as the best defender in their organization. So the Reds are really high on him as a defender. Got a chance to show him what he can do with the bat right here with 2 on.
Yeah, good solid defensive skills will get you a job in the big leagues. Maybe not a starting job, but teams are always looking for a good backup catcher, particularly a switch hitter. That certainly helps Barnhart in getting to the major leagues.
Well, Martin Maldonado is a good example of that. Excellent defensive catcher.
Hit you a home run from time to time.
He'll run into one.
He can make a very good living being a backup catcher.
I don't think there's anybody rooting more for Jonathan Lucroy than Martin Maldonado right now to get that double. Set a franchise record so he can start playing. 1-2 the count. And it's low for ball 2. Got him. Gallardo strikes him out to end the inning. An ugly defensive inning in the 5th for Milwaukee, and it leads to 2 runs, and the Reds now have the lead. Next year, this ballpark will take center stage. They will host the Midsummer Classic. They've had a few all-star games here in Cincinnati. As a matter of fact, they've had one of the more memorable moments in an all-star game. Remember 1970, Pete Rose running over Ray Fosse. Not only injured Fosse, knocked him out that season, but kind of changed the course of his career as well. That was 1970. That was at Riverfront Stadium. And Cincinnati's favorite son, Pete Rose, back then. They had an all-star game in 1988 at Riverfront. That was the year Terry Steinbach won the MVP. And in 1938, they had an all-star game here in Cincinnati. Johnny Vandermeer was the starting pitcher. Shortly after, he threw 2 no-hitters in back-to-back games. Some of the all-star moments. One of my favorites is the '53 all-star game, which was at Crosley Field. That was the year that Satchel Paige came on in relief in the 8th inning. He was 46 years of age, playing in a Major League All-Star game in '53. Set the record for the oldest pitcher in All-Star game history. Got a lot of great history here in Cincinnati. Great players. They have been to the World Series. And they were the original professional baseball team, which is why they open at home every year.
Yeah, looking forward to the home run derby here next year.
Yeah, that ought to be fun.
I mean, think about it. This ballpark.
Brian Braun grounds to third. That's Frazier up with it. And out number 1. You know that 1919 World Series championship banner that hangs? Everybody knows about the Black Sox in 1919. The Chicago White Sox that threw the World Series. Well, the franchise that benefited from that was the Cincinnati Reds. They'll take it.
Yeah.
They're World Series champs.
Say it ain't so, Joe.
That's it. That's it. Now the big red machine in the mid-70s. And maybe the catcher who revolutionized the position more than any other, or he's certainly on that list, in Johnny Bench.
Did more to ruin catcher's fundamentals than any.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny Bench was so good. He never had to get on his knees. He would pick the baseball with his gloves. He used a very small glove, too.
He was one of the first catchers that had to break in the glove and would use it to pick it. Didn't block many, but so athletic behind the plate. One of the great catchers of all time.
Great throwing arms. He could hit home runs.
A strike to Lucroy.
And not many remember his backup catcher, Bill Plummer.
Bill Plummer, nice.
He didn't catch much.
Good call.
That was back in my day. I mean, I was a very avid baseball fan, catcher growing up. And Johnny Bench, Ray Fosse, Jerry Grody, all idols of mine.
Frazier takes care of Lucroy. Second out of the inning.
Jerry Grody, the Mets catcher.
He's from my part of the country. I got to know Jerry pretty well down in San Antonio. Actually did a couple of games with Jerry Grody on the air. He's part of that amazing Mets team, that '69 Mets club. Now they have a fun history here in Cincinnati. And if you ever get a chance to travel with the Brewers, this is a must stop, because they have the Reds Hall of Fame, which is just outside the ballpark here, the home plate entrance. It is a beautiful building. It's right here in the same area as the ballpark, Hall of Fame and Museum. They do a great job there. They've got a lot of great history, and it's all right there for you. Always enjoy coming to Cincinnati.
Seems like we've been here a week. Got here Sunday night.
Yeah.
Leaving Thursday night. Did you have any chili while you were here?
No. That's not. I don't go there. The Skyline Chili, famous here in Cincinnati.
That was the press room lunch today.
Creates a lot of challenges in the middle of a ball game,
especially on getaway day. Good stuff, though.
That's what I hear. Ramirez lines one to left, a base hit, jumping on a 3-1 pitch. Now, one of the great things about coming to Cincinnati is being able to spend some time with the Brennemans. Tom Brenneman, the TV voice, one of them, and Marty Brenneman, the legend, the Hall of Famer. And he has provided the soundtrack for a lot of those great moments in Cincinnati Reds history. He's one of my favorites right there.
Good guy.
When you come to Cincinnati and you got Marty Brenneman and then Bob Uecker, who's on this trip, and a couple of Hall of Famers to hang out with.
The Reds are not on TV today, so Tom Brenneman not here today. He was here the first 2 games of the series along with Jeff Brantley, the Cowboy.
I was wondering why the booth next door was empty. No television for the Reds today, huh? It's too bad. I had some gift certificates to give to Chris Welsh and Tom Brenneman. You know, just like thank you gift certificates.
To where?
Yep, it's all empty. Mark's the only one over there.
Did you hear me?
Did you say something, Rock?
What are the gift certificates for?
Oh, I can't tell you that.
Okay.
I was just busy making sure Mark didn't do anything silly over there while he was on television.
Okay.
You know, some people just don't belong on television. You know what I mean? Not saying Mark's not one of those guys. I'm just saying, in case that was the case. Gift certificates were to Skyline Chili.
Okay.
Two and two to Chris Davis. Brewers down a run here, 3-2 as we play in the 6th inning. Ramirez at first on a 2-out single. Now Davis has been in and out of the lineup so much. It's been tough to keep a consistent swing at the plate. He's been dealing with a forearm injury, his right arm. 2-2 on the way. Davis a little half swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Davis is out. Fires his bat and his helmet. And a strikeout for Holmberg, who puts up a 0 after the Reds got him 2 and took the lead in the 5th.
Brewers down 3-2, and to thank fans for their tremendous support this season, the Brewers are giving away scratch-off cards to all fans at Miller Park this Sunday for the season finale with the Chicago Cubs. Every fan is guaranteed a prize, ranging from 2015 tickets to game-used memorabilia and more. Visit Brewers.com for tickets.
Well, Gallardo's back out there as we start the bottom of the 6th inning. Cincinnati coming up. And we're going to have a pinch hitter here for the pitcher Holmberg. So Holmberg will exit after 6 innings, and he has a chance to win. His only major league win came against Milwaukee on that last Brewers homestand. Jason Bourgeois will pinch hit, takes a strike from Gallardo. Sam LeCure is in the Cincinnati bullpen. By the way, got a note from Tim O'Driscoll, the terrific official scorer at Miller Park. He was going through the play at first base, the double play ball that the Brewers were unable to turn last inning, and there is leeway for an official scorer to call an error on a play like that, but it cannot be an error on the thrower at any point. So the only person who can get an error is the first baseman or whoever's receiving the throw, if it's deemed that the runner would have been out and it was a routine play, and it certainly was. Bourgeois singles to right to start the Reds' 6th inning.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, particularly when it was that obvious. I mean, if Jason Rogers catches that baseball, that's an easy double play. He just kicked it and got the error. Makes sense.
So the old phrase, "can't assume a double play." Well, you can in that regard. And Ricky Weeks does get an assist on that play.
And that rule basically protects the infielder, like we were talking about. The middle infielder gets taken out and makes a bad throw because of it. Takes the opportunity to give him an error away, but certainly the first baseman deserved that one. Deserved an error on that play.
Well, we thank Tim O'Driscoll, the coach. He'll be back at work tomorrow at Miller Park. He's one of the best. Reds have had their leadoff batter on in the last 4 innings against Gallardo. He has spent most of his day from the stretch. He's trying to hang around long enough to give his offense a chance to take the lead. But you figure the pitch count's going to get him at some point. This could be his last inning.
Last 4 innings have started with a Cincinnati base hit.
Brewers have committed 3 errors today. And Phillips launches one to left. That is way back and gone. A 2-run home run for Brandon Phillips. And the Reds add to their lead. Five to 2 Cincinnati as Brandon Phillips out of the leadoff spot homers for just the 8th time this year.
Yeah, no doubt it right there. I mean, this one middle in, down in the strike zone, and just drops the head of the bat on it, golfs it out of here. A no doubter to left. Just drops the bat, admires it, and now the Reds with a 5-2 lead.
And that's going to be the last hitter that Gallardo faces. So Phillips sends Gallardo to the showers, and a tough way to finish the season. Renicky goes to the bullpen. 5-2 Reds, nobody out in the 6th. We'll set up the new hurler when we come back. He extends the lead for the Reds to 3. It's now 5-2. Gallardo's day is done, and his season is done, most likely. And a tough way to go out. Gallardo was so good in Pittsburgh. Different story here today. And Will Smith will come on to pitch for the Brewers.
Yeah, you see his numbers. 77th appearance for Will. He's pitched a lot. A 382 earned run average. You can see the strikeouts, the innings pitched, 30 walks, 84 strikeouts, and just shy of 64 innings of work. And Will Smith leads the National League in appearances out of the bullpen.
First pitch is a strike to the switch hitter Pena. Nobody on, nobody out after the 2-run home run by Brandon Phillips. Brian Shaw is the major league leader in games over in the American League. He pitches for the Indians. He has 79 appearances.
Indians are still alive in a wild card. They done now?
They're done. All over for the Tribe. Some big games in the American League tonight. The Mariners have fallen off. Still got divisions up for grabs. The Orioles have clinched the American League East, and the Angels have clinched the National League West. But the Central Division is interesting right now in the American League. Detroit has a 2-game lead over Kansas City with 4 to play. Royals are sitting in pretty good position for a wild card berth. That's what it looks like right now, that wild card race. Kansas City and Oakland most likely. Right now Kansas City would host that wild card game. Seattle and Cleveland, kind of like where the Brewers are right now. Still a mathematical chance, but unlikely. Full count to Pena. The Angels have the best record in the American League. They've got a chance to win 100. They have 3 games left. They can win 2 out of 3. They'll be the only team to win 100 as Smith strikes out Pena for the first out of the inning.
A good breaking pitch to get him. Smith still has good velocity on the fastball, and this is a strikeout pitch. It's been that way all season long for Will. That slider.
So 1 away for Todd Frazier. Frazier into left, playable for Davis. 2 outs. Well, as promised earlier in the broadcast, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to #WisFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in a broadcast. And it comes to us from Caitlin. Oh my goodness, that's a Bill Schroeder Topps baseball card. What year are we looking at there, Rock?
I'm not sure what year that is.
Well done, Caitlin. Do you have a chewing tobacco in for your Topps baseball card?
No,
Oh.
I think my mouth was swollen for some reason. Interesting fan photo of the game.
That is very interesting. It's very timely as well.
I'm gonna have to dig up a Brian Anderson picture.
Yeah, you won't find them.
Oh, I've got a couple on my phone. I'm sure fans would love to see them too.
Oh, you wouldn't now, would you?
I have connections, you know.
Man, that's scary.
I know,
right.
Caitlin. Okay.
Okay, you want to play hardball? I'm with you. Okay, I'll back down now. It's all fun and games till somebody gets hurt. That's one thing. My father-in-law, Don, he's an artist, and I was always kind of bummed out, you know, when my college baseball career ended. I knew I wasn't going to be able to play professionally. It's like, man, I'm never going to have a baseball card. And he painted a picture of a scene at the home plate where I was making a tag in the NAIA World Series, and he made it into a mock-up Topps baseball card. It's kind of sweet.
You know, I know somebody can make you one.
Yeah, but you know, it's nice when it's painted by hand by your wife's dad. Jay Bruce sends one out to center field. Gomez will make the catch, and Smith comes on and settles it all down. 3 up and 3 down after Gallardo gave up a hit and a homer to Phillips. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine. By the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Miller Lite, now in the original can, it's Miller time. Good eats here in Cincinnati. Brewers find themselves down 5-2, top of the 7th. A Brewer loss will clinch a postseason berth for the San Francisco Giants, whose magic number is 1. Sam LeCure is on the mound for the Reds. Takes over for David Holmberg, who is in line for his 2nd career Major League win. They would both come against Milwaukee.
They pitched a scoreless inning in last night's ball game for Cincinnati. LeCure with some good numbers for the Reds. 61st appearance and a .344 earned run average. And just to clean things up, the Cleveland Indians are mathematically still alive for the wild card, not the division. But they still could make the postseason, just like the Brewers are in a tough spot, but there is a chance.
You're saying there's a chance. Well, Ricky Weeks will lead off here in the 7th. Brewers are going to have to get to work offensively. It's been a very ugly defensive game for Milwaukee. 3 errors already. Weeks has 2 of them.
Another very good start by David Holmberg against Milwaukee. 2 runs in 6 innings.
Weeks to start it. Lyle Overbay will hit next. 5-2 Reds. Brewers have dropped 2 out of 3 in the first 2 series of this road trip. against the Cardinals and the Pirates. It felt like they could have won both series. And some late rallies by the opposition in each of those first 2 series. Brewers lost to Cueto on Tuesday night here, and then Loesch came back with a shutout win. Brewers won 5-0 last night. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Ricky Weeks. Starting the 7th inning, and a ground ball. Diving stop, hit it out of the glove of Frazier, and that'll be a base hit for Weeks.
Ricky's had a nice series. Last 2 games, 2 hits in each game. And a good start to the 7th. They got the bat head out and got it down the line. Frazier knocked it down but couldn't hold on to it.
So that'll go as an infield hit. Ricky Weeks had a homer in the 2nd, and reaching base for the 3rd time here today. A home run, a hit batter, and now this infield hit. So Lyle Overbay will hit for Jason Rogers. And a man on. The Brewers are down 3 here in the 7th inning. McCure deals. Overbay takes a ball. Overbay's had a great year off the bench this year. Been a better hitter as a pinch hitter than when he starts games. For whatever reason, usually when you're pinch hitting, that's one of the toughest jobs in baseball.
You got to bear down. Normally up there with maybe runners on base or to get a rally started.
And Overbay lines one to right, a base hit. So another pinch hit for Lyle Overbay, and now 2 on. The Brewers will bring the tying run to the plate here in the 7th inning. Still nobody out. Good start to the 7th against LeCure.
Ricky Weeks picking on a fastball. This time LeCure tried to get a breaking ball, left it up in the strike zone, and Overbay waited back long enough and dumped it into right field. So the Brewers did exactly what they had to do. Get off to a good start in his 7th inning, bring the tying run to the plate.
Here's Gene Segura. He swings at the first pitch, a breaking ball, fouls it back. Two on, nobody out. Segura had a big hit last night, drove in 2 runs with a double. Helped stretch a lead from 2-0 to 4-0, and it was revealed after the game. Renicky said had Segura not doubled in those runs, he was going to pinch hit for Loesch, feeling like the Brewers needed some more offense at that time. That would have prevented Loesch from finishing the game last night.
Yeah, that was in the 8th inning.
So instead of 7 shutout innings, Loesch ended up with 9. Segura's 0 for 2 today. A couple of ground outs. And that one's on the corner, a called strike. 2-2 on Segura.
Steady diet of breaking pitches, and then he caught the outside corner with a fastball.
Segura's double came into left center field, a line drive that went to the wall yesterday. And that one Wins outside for a ball. Close pitch. He missed, and now it's 3-2. Pitcher spot is coming up next. Renicky already has Jeanette on deck. See if Segura can get him there with some men on base. Full count. Here it comes. And a base hit into left. Weeks got a good jump. He'll hold at third. Ludwig's throw comes into the cutoff man, and sensing a big inning here, Ed Cedar holds up Ricky Weeks. That'll give a chance to Scooter Gennett here, the pinch hitter, with the bases loaded and nobody out.
Well, down by 3 runs, you can't chance it and get a guy thrown out at home plate for sure. So that ball hit hard right at Ludwig, so Ed Cedar forced to hold Ricky at third base. 3-2 pitch. That two-seam fastball leaked in the inner half of the plate, and Segura able to pull it into the hole. So nobody out, bases loaded, and the Brewers are in business here in the 7th.
And a meeting at the mound. Jeff Pico, the pitching coach, talking it over with LeCure. 3 singles in the inning. Weeks had an infield hit. It was down the line, a diving stop by Frazier. Overbase singles to right. Segura singles to left. You got Jumbo Diaz in the Cincinnati bullpen.
Gives you an idea how good Holmberg was. Through 6 innings, the Brewers only able to muster 3 hits. And 3 hits already in this inning.
All right, Scooter Gennett, who grew up here in Cincinnati until age 12. He's had a couple of home runs in this ballpark. A pinch hit appearance. Scooter's not running well. He's still dealing with a quad injury. Could come into play on a ground ball to an infielder. But throughout this injury, Gennett has been able to swing the bat pretty well. Gennett's been used as a pinch hitter 16 times. This is number 17. Has 4 hits, and he has a home run off the bench. Bases loaded. Brewers down 3, and Gennett on the ground. Phillips over to second, and that'll be a double play. Gennett dives for the bag. A run will score, but no RBI for Gennett. That was worst case scenario for the Brewers there. So Weeks is in, makes it a 2-run game, but Gennett with 2 outs on 1 swing of the bat.
Yeah, it rolled over on that fastball and hit it on the nose, but right at Phillips. There you see it a little bit out in front. It looked like LeCure took just a touch off of it. Scooter out in front, and the easy 4-6-3 double play.
Here's Carlos Gomez with 2 away. Still got a runner at third. Right off the end of the bat, foul. It'll stay foul. 1 ball, 1 strike on Gomez. Looks like Brewers are going to have Brandon Kinsler pitch the bottom of the 7th. Will Smith works to 3 batters in the 6th. Gallardo goes 5+ today. One and 2 on Gomez. Out from his helmet. Trying to tie it up with 1 swing.
And LeCure gave him a curveball, and Gomez came unglued with that swing.
He's got him down in the count, and Gomez lays off, skips away not far enough for Overbay to consider. Barnhart wants to get it straight with LeCure.
It's a long meeting out there.
An incredibly long meeting. Dale Scott clapping the entire time. The home plate umpire saying, "Let's go." Commissioner is going to put a committee together to evaluate length of game this offseason. Might be one of them that comes up. All right, 2-2 here. LeCure to Gomez, down in the dirt. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Brewers have a run in this inning. Came in on a double play. Inning started with 3 hits. Full count to Gomez. Ryan Braun due next. And it's in the dirt. He lost him. LeCure just doesn't look comfortable on the mound. He's taken a lot of time between pitches.
Might have been a little bit of what that meeting was out there in the mound between he and his catcher.
Yeah, Price recognizes something out there. He's going to make the change. He's given up 3 hits and a walk. And relying a lot on his breaking stuff. So we're going to have a pitching change here with 2 outs in the inning. Brewers have the tying run on. The go-ahead run will come up in Ryan Braun. And Price is going to make a double switch in the 7th. 5-3 Reds. Brewers putting up a threat here with 2 outs. We'll take a break, set up the new pitcher when we come back.
In and still threatening. Pitching change for the Reds as tonight's time of the game winner, today's time of the game winner is Tall Paul's in Manchester if they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours. Tall Paul's gets 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game next year. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
You ever been to Manchester on your trips to Minneapolis?
Not that far from here. I should say from Milwaukee. It's got to be between Portage and Fond du Lac.
We welcome them all watching in today on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Hoping for a Brewers comeback here. The Brewers have it in place. Jack Hanahan's going to take over at first on the double switch. Pena's out. Jumbo Diaz will be on the mound for the Reds. 2 outs, first and third, and Ryan Braun coming up.
Diaz appearing in his 35th game here today. A .362 earned run average. Was the losing pitcher in a game at Milwaukee. And not that long ago, last time the Reds were in town, 35 strikeouts and a little over 34 innings of work. A hard thrower, Jumbo Diaz.
Braun representing the go-ahead run, and he swings and misses. Trying to jump on that first pitch, and Diaz put a wrinkle on it. Ryan has a hit today, singled in the fourth. He's 1 for 3. The 0-1, Braun takes it low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brewers are where they want to be in their batting order with men on base. There have been 3 hits and a walk in this inning. Only 1 run is in. It's a key double play off the bat of Jeanette, who was pinch hitting.
You got to get that bat started early against Diaz. Just threw the last fastball at 98 miles an hour.
He got in on the hands of Braun that time. That was a breaking ball. Kind of hung right in there. 1-2 the count.
That backup slider just stayed on the inner part of the plate.
See what he has in mind. 1-2 the count. And comes inside with a fastball at 98. Braun trying to deliver a big hit. Overbay at third. Gomez takes off at first, and again Braun fouls it back.
And just keep leaving that slider inner half. And Ryan getting it down on the handle a little bit. If he leaves one of those out just a little bit, you know, Ryan might get a pretty good swing at it, knock it out of here.
Jumbo Diaz. Where's number 70? It's the weight he lost. Lost 70 pounds from last year to this. There goes Gomez again. Braun was right on that one, but he fouls it back. That one came in at 98. Now Barnhart's on his way to the mound. Always weight concerns about Jumbo Diaz, whether he could hold up at the big league level, so he took matters into his own hands. You give him a lot of credit. He's still a big guy, but imagine him 70 pounds heavier than what he is right now.
Right.
He's had a good year in the big leagues. 30 years of age. He spent more than a decade in minor league baseball before he got his chance.
Weighing in at 278 pounds.
1-2, the count remains. And Braun fouls another one off. Well, he'll see at least 8 pitches here. Diaz trying to get the final out of the 7th for the Reds, and he's having to work for it. Gomez carries the tying run at first. Stays put. Braun takes a ball. Good take. Well, that was a sharp slider at 90 miles an hour, and Braun able to lay off.
And it's difficult to lay off of those off-speed pitches, the sliders, especially when you're throwing close to 100 miles an hour. You got to start that bat a little bit sooner than you would normally. when he's throwing that hard. And oftentimes a pitcher is going to get a swing at a pitch like that.
Braun looking for that one mistake that he can do damage with. Sitting on 19 home runs this year. And Braun, a big chopper. Frazier's got it. And his only play is first. A low throw, but Hanahan makes the play. The inning is over, and the Reds maintain their lead. Long battle with Diaz and Braun. Still 5-3 Cincinnati.
American Ballpark in Cincinnati. Brewers down by a couple of runs. And the Brewers wrap up the 2014 season against the Cubs tomorrow through Sunday. And as part of Fan Appreciation Weekend, fans will enjoy a number of giveaways and prizes all weekend long, ranging from 2015 tickets to a brand new Chevy Equinox. Visit Brewers.com/fan appreciation.
Well, here we go to the Cincinnati 7th inning. And it'll be Brandon Kinsler on the mound for Milwaukee. Will Smith comes on, retires the 3 batters he faces in the 6th inning after the Phillips homer. Kinsler trying to keep the Reds right where they are at 5 runs. His 63rd appearance of the year.
Yep, last pitch on Saturday against the Pirates. A scoreless 2/3 of an inning for Brandon Kinsler with a .340 earned run average, a 3-3 record. He has given up the 8 home runs.
All right, it'll be Ryan Ludwig to start it here. Yorman Rodriguez, then Zach Cozart for Cincinnati. Brandon Phillips, a 2-run homer last inning. Jay Bruce has 3 hits today, had an RBI with 2 outs in the 3rd. Reds got a run on an RBI from Rodriguez, the young center fielder, in the 5th. Tough day for Gallardo. He gives up 10 hits, 5 runs, 3 earned in 5 innings, and on the hook for the loss at this point. Ludwig has reached twice, reached on an error in the 5th inning. He walked in the 1st. There's a strike, and it goes to 1-2 on Ludwig. Brewers ready to start the final homestand of the year. Going to be great to get back to Miller Park one last time before the close of the season. The Cubs are coming to town. Cubs did a number on the Cardinals. They helped keep the Pirates in the mix for a division title. Pittsburgh playing tonight against Atlanta. Cardinals are off tonight.
Cubs won 2 out of 3.
St. Louis is headed to Arizona to finish their season, so that's no easy task. I mean, the Diamondbacks have had a terrible year, but going out west, final road trip of the year, won't be a whole lot of atmosphere in that ballpark. Ludwig to center field, and there is out number 1. Now the Brewers are going to have Garza on the mound tomorrow, the former Cub. Miller Lite, what's on tap? Garza, Peralta, and Fires. Brewers are going to see 2 lefties the first 2 days, and then Hendricks, who's been tough on Milwaukee.
Yes, he has been tough on everybody. Look at the records.
Yeah, nice year going. Looks like he's going to be a mainstay in their rotation for next year.
Some pretty good earned run averages for that Cubs starting rotation against Milwaukee.
Cubs are a curious team to watch this time of year. They've got some players that are worth taking note of. A lot of young prospects. Power hitting team. Free swingers.
Good outfielders. I mean, good outfield. I mean, power hitting outfield.
Yorman Rodriguez getting the start for Billy Hamilton in center field today, and he's responded with 2 hits. Had a bunt hit in the 4th, and then an RBI single to right in the 5th. Kinsler delivers a 1-2, fouled away.
Another one got Lucroy. That's why you see Dale Scott going out in front of home plate, give him a chance to collect himself.
He's had a tough day behind the plate, Lucroy. Foul balls and follow through swings. That one misses on the outside. Not a bad idea for Kinsler. Got that call in the Ludwig at bat. Evens it up at 2-2. Got a young hitter at the plate. Tell you, these are meaningful at bats for guys like Yorman Rodriguez. Look at the Brewers and what they're trying to do, and still mathematically alive. The Reds have long been eliminated from postseason contention, and they've been using these games to get some playing time for some of their prospects. Rodriguez takes a call at strike 3. Down he goes.
And the thing is, every at bat, every game is meaningful. It doesn't matter where you're at in the standings. Brandon Phillips, you know, look at his day leading off. He's had a rough season. Reds have had a rough season. He's had a very good series.
Yeah, 2 hits today, including a home run.
Great defense. Standings shouldn't matter regarding the importance of your at bats. You know, you go out there on the mound, defensive plays.
Cozart with 2 away. Quickly 0-2 on the Reds shortstop. This is another guy the Reds are hoping has a bounce back next year. Cozart hitting in the low 220s this season and has not hit for much power. Felt like he'd be a guy that hit 15 to 20 homers a year, but that has not been the case this season. He is a very good shortstop. This guy can really play. And he and Brandon Phillips make up one of the best keystone combos in the big leagues.
Yeah, 3rd best fielding percentage in the major leagues at shortstop. In this day and age, you still have to hit.
That one's on the corner, a called strike 3, and Kinsler works a 3-up, 3-down 7th with 2 Ks. We go to the 8th, 5-3 Reds. Last regular season road game for the Brewers as we head to the 8th. And a reminder that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Brewers, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Brewers. Brent Reelan, our producer, Renardo Lowe, our director, Brian Mikulajic doing whatever he does in the truck. And with Bill Schroeder and Telly Hughes, I'm Brian Anderson. We're in the 8th inning. Been a lackluster performance by the Brewers defensively. Gallardo struggled on the mound. The Brewers have committed 3 errors, and yet they are still in it. 5-3 is the score. Jumbo Diaz back on the mound to start the 8th, and he'll have Lucroy, Ramirez, and Chris Davis to start it.
Boy, that 7th inning started like a house of fire, didn't it? 3 consecutive hits, and Brewers only able to muster 1 run. It's kind of the way the road trip's been going.
The Brewers scored 5 yesterday. They had scored 6 runs in 6 games prior to yesterday's outburst. Diaz with that big fastball. Lucroy still looking for that double. That would set the franchise record and give him a major league record for doubles. On the inside corner this time. And you know, he'd love to get it out of the way here.
Sometimes it goes that way, right? You get them like they're going out of style all season long, and then you need just one.
Down the right field line, Bruce will watch it into the seats.
Been 6 games since he's hit a double.
Thought he had one the other night on Tuesday when Aroldis Chapman was in the game. Lucroy lined one down the right field line. It was just foul.
The other milestone I think Lucroy's thinking about, or perhaps would like to attain at the end of the season, is keep that batting average over 300. Dip just below right now, 299.
Yeah, he's 0 for 2 today. Into right center, and that is Rodriguez over. He'll make the catch for the out. So Lucroy is out. He'll finish 0 for 3. That'll bring up Aramis Ramirez. Ramos had a hit his last time up. He singled with 2 outs in the 6th inning.
All right, how important is this inning for the Brewers to get something going? You don't want to have to wait till the 9th. Aroldis Chapman waiting out there.
And the Brewers are in the right spot in the batting order with power hitters. Right now, David Holmberg still in line for the win. He went 6 innings, only 2 earned runs. He is finishing very well for Cincinnati. Ramirez pops it up out to Jay Bruce in right field. 2 up, 2 down. Again, the magic number for the San Francisco Giants is 1 right now. So a Brewers loss would guarantee a postseason berth for the Giants. And they'd be playing for a wild card. They cannot win their division. They were closed out last night by the Dodgers. Giants will host the Padres later tonight. If the Brewers win, it'll force the Giants to win again.
You know, with a Brewers loss and Giants playing later tonight does not mean they can let down, because they're looking for that #1 wild card spot.
Right. Yeah. Right now, the Giants would have to travel to Pittsburgh. They want to host that game. Only had 2 years of the 1-game wild card play in. No real trend set on whether you host or not. Matter of fact, the home team has lost on a number of occasions already. Davis into right. Back is Bruce at the track, and he'll have room to make the play. Gave it a ride, but it's an out, and 3 outs all in the air for Jumbo Diaz. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Here today. Brewers were a terrific road team good part of the season until this second half post All-Star break. Former Red Jonathan Broxton is going to pitch here in the 8th inning with the Brewers trailing 5-3. Broxton traded from the Reds to the Brewers prior to the non-waiver or the waiver wire transaction deadline, meaning Broxton had to clear waivers to get through. joining the Brewers for this final month of the season.
You saw his numbers between Cincinnati and Milwaukee. Got roughed up his last time out on Friday. Gave up 4 runs in a third of an inning, and that got his earned run average over 2. Spent most of the year in the 1.6, 1.7 range.
Brewers bullpen has retired 6 in a row. Will Smith and Brandon Kinsler. Broxton trying to keep the Reds at 5. The Brewers will have Ricky Weeks leading off in the 9th inning. He's had a good day at the plate. And then you probably get into some pinch hitters at that point. Aroldis Chapman getting ready for a potential save opportunity. One ball, 2 strikes. Tucker Barnhart. Broxton deals a 2-2. Barnhart fouls it away. Barnhart today is 0 for 3. A couple of Ks on his line.
Done a nice job behind home plate tonight or today, and had some meetings on the mound. I mean, working his pitching staff, talking about how good he is defensively, and that's part of it.
Yeah, it resonates. Catcher with some energy behind the plate. There's a swing and a miss. Broxton strikes him out. Threw him a good slider right there, and Broxton keeps it rolling for the relievers. Now 7 in a row retired out of the Brewers bullpen.
You know, Broxton first came over to Milwaukee. He was throwing nothing but fastballs, and all of a sudden now, last couple outings have been throwing a breaking pitch. He's got that fastball, 95, 96, and the slider to go with it.
Jack Hanahan batting for the first time. Came in on a double switch a couple of innings ago. And Broxton took a little off that pitch. Hanahan out in front. Hanahan had the only 2 hits of the game yesterday for the Reds. Loesch, a 2-hit shutout and a 5-0 win for the Brewers in yesterday's game. 97 with a fastball from Broxton.
Yeah, a layoff almost a week. It was last Friday when he last pitched, and maybe that layoff has helped that fastball. 97, that's a big one.
Got him down 0-2. See what he throws him here. Fastball, got him.
98.
Yeah, 98 miles an hour, his best fastball of the year. And back-to-back strikeouts. 2 gone in the inning. And all these Reds fans here are going, where was that all season here in Cincinnati?
Man, look at where it was on Fox Tracks. Right on the corner at the knees.
Can't pitch any better than that.
No. That's 5 strikeouts now for the relievers.
Top of the order, Brandon Phillips. Broxton is under contract with the Brewers for next year. He'll have a great chance to be the closer next year. Frankie Rodriguez is a free agent at season's end. I figure Rodriguez is going to command a pretty high price on the free agent market after a 40+ save season. No balls and a strike on Phillips. Hit a 2-run homer his last time up. And that was a big one. Might be a game winner for Cincinnati. Brewers were able to score a run in the 7th, but they had the bases loaded and nobody out in that inning, and only managed the 1 run.
Yeah, Phillips got a fastball down and in from Gallardo, and a no-doubter way back and left. Maybe elevate a fastball here, maybe throw a slider down in the dirt.
Broxton pouring in the strikes. 0-2 the count on Phillips. Went with the fastball and missed upstairs. And he got him. Phillips strikes out, and impressive inning for Jonathan Broxton. 3 up, 3 down, 3 Ks. Brewers bullpen 9 in a row. Last call for the Brewers here in Cincinnati. By the Marshfield Clinic. It was Ricky Weeks sending one out of here on David Holmberg. That was a home run in the 2nd inning. It came with 2 outs. And Ricky with a couple on this road trip, his 8th of the season. It'll be Ricky Weeks to lead off here in the 9th. Last call for the Brewers. A 5-3 Cincinnati lead, and the Reds are going to send up their dominant left-handed closer, Aroldis Chapman. He's only blown 2 saves this season. Got his 34th save of the year on Tuesday night against Milwaukee.
And struck out the side in doing it. He walked a batter, hit a batter, and struck out the side to close out the 9th. You can see the strikeout numbers, unbelievable strikeout numbers of Chapman. Almost 2 strikeouts for every inning of work. I mean, that's unheard of. And he's got the bottom half of the Brewers order to deal with here in the 9th.
Chris Heisey will take over in left field for Ludwig, as Brian Price shores up his defense. So Weeks is going to lead off. Looks like Hector Gomez, a power hitter in AAA this year, will pinch hit next. He's on deck. And then Segura's scheduled to hit after that. Brewers need 2, need a man on. Whoever wins this game wins the season series. And if the Reds hang on to win it, the Brewers will be without a season series win against Cincinnati since the 06 season. Big fastball. I say big. That's a moderate fastball for Chapman at 96. But he got a big cut from Weeks.
And he got it over 100 on a number of occasions on Tuesday night.
Chapman threw over 10 fastballs in his save on Tuesday, over 100 miles an hour. I think it was exactly 10. One ball, one strike, and Weeks takes strike 2. Another one at 96. Those are just get over fastballs for Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah, Chapman struck Ricky out on Tuesday. He got him looking. Of course, Chapman strikes everybody out.
He has struck out Weeks 3 times in his career. The 1-2, and it's in there. Called strike 3. Down he goes. He went with a slider that time.
Yeah, you can't be looking for that. I mean, you just hope he doesn't throw that for a strike. He's throwing around 100 miles an hour. You go up there and even you're doing well by just fouling that pitch off unless he hangs one up in the zone. Not a very good slider, but something other than a fastball. And he catches the inside corner with it.
And still at 86, it's a slider with a lot of velocity on it, but it's 15, 18 miles an hour slower. And they're going to take a look at Chapman here. I noticed after his second strike to Ricky Weeks, he backed off the mound. He went to the rosin right before he threw that slider, and I'm not sure he is completely healthy. Chapman began the year on the disabled list. Remember, he was hit in the head by a line drive in spring training.
Yeah, velocities, it's all relative, but I mean, had been throwing that big fastball in this inning. Not sure what the conversation is or what they're discussing or what's going on with them, but there's a pitcher talking about right down the middle.
And then after that, he had gotten to 2 strikes with that pitch, and he kind of clutches at his back or his side. He walks to the back of the mound. Well, whatever it is, he has convinced the medical staff that he's all right, so he will remain. 1 gone in the 9th. And here is Hector Gomez pinch hitting for the Brewers. Well, they made him feel better. He threw it 1 mile an hour faster than his fastballs against Weeks.
97 still pretty good. I mean, you can get away with it in a pinch.
Gomez spent the year in AAA as the shortstop in Nashville. Jeff Pico is on the phone to the bullpen just in case. He's the pitching coach. And a slider grounded over to third base. Frazier for the second out. Well, the Brewers season down to the final out as far as the opportunity of a postseason. Gene Segura, who is 1 for 3 tonight, trying to get on base and give Mark Reynolds, who would pinch hit next, one swing at Aroldis Chapman to try to tie it up. Ball and a strike on Segura. Chapman taking time between pitches. Something's not right with him, but he's still pouring in the strikes. In there. Strike 2. And the Brewers are down to their last strike. Reds will be bringing in the Pirates next here to Great American Ballpark. Brewers headed home to face the Cubs tomorrow. Four of the 5 teams have guaranteed postseason spots in the National League. With one more strike, the Giants will be the 5th. And Segura, ground ball, diving stop. Hanahan is there. Chapman covers, and that's the game. And the Milwaukee Brewers are officially mathematically eliminated from the postseason. That means the Giants are in. And the 5 teams that will represent the National League in the playoffs are all set. Seeding is the only thing up for grabs right here. Brewers take it to game 159 to keep themselves alive for a postseason berth, but it all ends here in Cincinnati, and Chapman closes out a victory for David Holmberg. 5-3 Reds win it. They take 2 out of 3. The Brewers headed back to Milwaukee to start a series with the Cubs beginning tomorrow night. It's time for Brewers Live. Let's check in with Jeff Grayson in our Fox Sports Wisconsin studio.